Hello, everybody. Hello, OnlyTans. Hello. Thank you for being here. It's Thursday, March 27th, 2025. How's everybody doing? Are we all good? Is the camera coming in clear? I hope so. We have a special guest today. We haven't had a special guest on Tandy Time in a little while, but we have TJ Laessig of Own the Moment, also doing some work with NBA Top Shot. And there's some things happen on blah, 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 blah. There's some things happening on NBA Top Shot, and we talked about those things last week, namely this deal with NBA Top Shot on OpenSea. And I feel like I maybe still don't have the best idea of why that's important. And TJ Laessig is going to come help explain why it is. He's also going to talk about the upgrades to the NBA Top Shot marketplace that were recently integrated. And that's thanks to the big brains over at Own the Moment. So it seems like a pretty good partnership there where you can have kind of the best of Own the Moment, the kind of analytics and data, and integrate that right into the NBA Top Shot ecosystem. So I see some people are here. We got Springer and Tandy NFTs and Matic and Bobby Digital. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. There's also some things happening, of course, across the NBA. And of course, our favorite talking head, Stephen A. Smith, making himself, putting himself in the limelight once again, of course. And 2 weeks ago, we talked about that whole clip of Stephen A. Smith after he squared off in front of LeBron James. And now that's gotten even worse because LeBron James went on the what's that guy's show again? The guy who used to be a punter on ESPN. Can't remember his name, but he went on there and he was basically talking about what happened. And then so what did Stephen A. Smith do? Well, you can guess what he did. He just went even harder. And then today Stephen A. Smith was on his show just talking completely out of pocket. Honestly, kind of unbelievable that he would even go to the depths of the dirt that he went. He was talking about LeBron, and he did like one of my favorite tricks where you want to talk shit about someone without talking shit about someone. He was like, I'm not going to talk about LeBron James didn't go to the memorial of Kobe Bryant. I would say that, but I'm not going to say it. And I'm not going to say that he didn't go to Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame ceremony. I could say that, but I won't say it. It's like just kind of like the worst kind of human being you can possibly be is Stephen A. Smith. But he continues to be rewarded, of course. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure he'll continue to be rewarded now with even more clicks and more views. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, we have a couple other people in the chat right now. We got Perfect Cereal, who says, Own the Moment filters and marketplace views are top notch. And Peachy's here. Peachy Luro, Spurs fan. What it do, Tandy Man? What it do, Peachy Luro? Thanks for being here. So I see TJ's in the back, so we're going to let him in. I haven't had a guest on for a while. We'll just give him the, we'll just give him the goddamn amazing.
It's goddamn amazing. Woo.
There he is. TJ.
Hello, hello.
Hello, TJ. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you. What's it like being a Philadelphia 76ers fan these days?
I mean, I have probably watched less than like 10 minutes of Sixers basketball this year. It's crazy how I'm definitely a fair weather fan. I mean, yeah, it's what a disaster. A year ago, I never would have projected that this is how the season would play out. Not even just the season. I mean, there's concern for the entire future of the organization and Embiid's health at this point. It does not sound good, whatever the heck is going on.
It doesn't sound good at all. Like, do you think that Embiid's even going to be on this team in the next year? Are they going to ship him out for some spare car parts? Like, what's going on with Paul George? Like, what is the future of the Sixers? Is it basically just completely rebuild with Maxey?
Start the process over with Maxey?
So.
Is that the play? I mean, it kind of seems like that's the way things are trending. At least Maxey is someone that you can build around, but assuming, it does not seem like Embiid is long for Philadelphia or for, who knows, even his career at this point. The Paul George experiment you know, uh, turns out signing people late in their career almost never really works out. Do we have much precedent for that being a good idea ever? I don't know that we really do.
I don't think so. The only like timeless one, well, like Kevin Durant. I mean, what other players that are up there in their career on new teams, let's say, play well? I don't know. I'm sure there are some. I just can't think of some
I'm
right now.
sure, but I feel like more often than not,
Yeah.
it's
Anyway,
a reason.
oh well. You'll
Oh
get him next year.
exactly.
So anyway, TJ, some interesting things happening on Top Shot. Some interesting upgrades. Namely, we can start off with the marketplace updates, and that is thanks to, like I said, the big brains behind On the Moment kind of stepped right in and gave a massive upgrade and overhaul to the marketplace. What can you tell us about the new marketplace? What are you excited about? What can we look forward to in terms of what's coming next?
Yeah, really excited to first off be kind of deepening our partnership at Own the Moment with Top Shot and having myself and Neil on the inside now working directly on the site. So we were able to roll out some upgrades to the marketplace. I'd say there's three main things that you may have noticed. Number one, there's a new explore page, which just gives you some high level market data, things like the number of sales, unique buyers and sellers, big sales happening, trending moments, top sales, recent sales, also the ability to sort by different date ranges and time ranges. And then on the marketplace, this is probably where you really saw some Own the Moment blood in the mix, but we added a table view where you can now look at the traditional cube view of the marketplace, but also switch to view things in a table. Added a couple of new pieces of information there, things like the circulation count for owned, impacts, burned, all that good stuff. Some additional sorting that you can do, the time ranges, and then yeah, so that's kind of the three main things that are added now, and have some other stuff on the list that we are excited to get out there in the coming weeks.
Anything you can share? Anything that we can hint
Yeah, I
at
mean,
that we might be able to find in the next coming weeks?
I'd love to touch up the filters. I feel like I don't find the filters. It's going to be a lot of like UX, UI type stuff, just making it
Mhm.
easier to navigate around versus like massive overhauls. But upgrading the filters, the similar table view that we did with the moments page, doing that on the packs marketplace so that you can view the packs in the table view with the different sorting and filtering. And then I think that can also be brought to other places of the site, the collection page, being able to have the table view in your collection. So just kind of, trying to give easier ways to see what's going on with your Top Shot collection or with the marketplace across the site. I know a serial finder on the marketplace is a hot topic, so that might be something that we can look into, and open to feedback and ideas. So anyone that's in chat or in discords, if you want to let me know some ideas you have, we're happy to take a look at them and add them to the potential to-do list.
Yeah, I think that these UX UI upgrades are awesome, and in terms of just being able to find the data you want and play with the data in the way that you want. I think that the other type of upgrades that we saw recently were more, I don't know how you would describe them, almost like intrinsic or subjective, or like kind of this is my special thing, or even like the way that the special cereals are kind of highlighted. I wonder if there's some angle there where it's like, does that make sense? Where there's sort of very data focused stuff, being able to
Hmm.
see everything in a nice grid, and then there's other stuff that's sort of what makes Top Shot special and what makes collecting special.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the side of things. I know that that's the side of things that we've wanted for a long time, and
Hmm.
in the works of being worked on. We got, like, for example, curation. We got our shoebox. Everybody loves a shoebox. And then we have like other ideas that might come from that to expand on that. If you have your shoebox, what about your
Yeah.
trophy box? What about your,
Hmm.
this is my special stack box? Things of that nature that just feel a little more personal instead of pure kind of database, which is all well and good and
For
something that we
sure.
also need. But I think that a lot of the focus currently in this latest update is more around that area.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Things like the shoebox and concepts like that are interesting. The concepts of just being able to show off your collection, as you said, something that has been talked about for a long time. I believe that there are some initiatives to and desire to get that going. So maybe I can help make that come to life as well as part of some of the duties here.
Perfect. I think Dap Insider, I don't know if this is the same account that I saw on Twitter who was saying like, can we get some of these upgrades to the NFL product? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if like this goes well on the NBA product, how hard would it be to port the same ideas over to the NFL product?
Uh Probably a little bit harder than you think, unfortunately, just because it is different code bases and such.
Mm,
But if there was, it's definitely possible. Anything is possible. That's one thing that I've learned about code over the years is that anything is possible. It's just a matter of how much time and effort and brain power it needs to go into it. But I would say that the focus is definitely going to be on Top Shot in at least the short to medium term here. But yeah, I mean, NFL season will also be here before we know it. No doubt about that.
for sure. Cool. And by the way, Chad, if you have anything else that you'd like to ask TJ, have at it, and we'll keep hitting some of the other points that we want to talk about. Something that I talked about last week, and also Roham and Jacob were on a Spaces with OpenSea recently, I believe, and they were talking about this integration of NBA Top Shot on OpenSea. And so last week, when that made news, and I saw that a lot of accounts actually on Twitter were making little videos about it. But I have to admit that the whole like flow side of things has always been a little more tricky to me. I haven't really completely understood it. And I don't know if that's just me or if that's like a lot of people who kind of collect on NBA Top Shot, but what was your initial impression and what is your understanding as of right now in terms of Top Shot on OpenSea?
Yeah, I think I'd say I'd fall generally under the same category as you. I came into the space not necessarily as a true Web3 native crypto type of person. I came more from the sports side, fantasy sports side, and that's what kind of gave me interest in Top Shot to start. But at the same time, I do have a respect for and appreciation of the world that is out there. And I do think that the move to OpenSea in the grand scheme of things is pretty significant, or at least has some perks to it. I mean, I feel like three main things come to my mind when it comes to Top Shot and OpenSea. First is the idea that it provides more liquidity. I think that's, probably the main thing, and the main goal is that now these assets can be bought and sold on different marketplaces. You have Top Shot's in-house marketplace, you have other flow marketplaces like Floaty, now you have OpenSea, and there has been a lot of liquidity on OpenSea thus far. There's been over, I think, 27,000 sales in the past little bit over a week that it's been live. There's been 3,000 unique owners that own some kind of Top Shot moment on OpenSea, which I think is pretty good. I think another potential benefit is new user acquisition from the Web3 crowd, or even if not brand new net users, people that haven't been on the platform in 3-4 years. When the announcements went out, I did see quite a few people on Twitter that were like, oh, time to dust off the old Top Shot account and get back logging in. So I would say another goal is, the same way, and we'll talk about this bridge builders thing that we're doing, but the same way that we're trying to motivate and give reasons for people that are in the Top Shot ecosystem to want to check out OpenSea. The goal is to bring these people from OpenSea to check out Top Shot, to come check out the Rookie Revelations pack drop next week, right? And just use that as a way to get more eyeballs and get some more organic growth. And then, it's also just another example of the third-party ecosystem. The more use cases and reasons that there are out there to do things like linking your wallets and bringing your moments out of Dapper and into Flow. There's a couple other things that I believe may be coming down the pipeline. OpenSea fits into that larger picture, and that's also one of the things that I'm helping out with is ecosystem partnerships and things like that. So that's why I've been a little bit involved in the tail end of this OpenSea move.
Great. And so you said something about the number of users coming or buying on OpenSea. Did you say how many of those users were, let's say, not already buying on Top Shot, but buying purely on OpenSea? Do we know that?
It's a good question. I actually do not know that off the top of my head. I think in the next week and a half, we'll get more into that level of the data. My guess is that it's probably somewhat of a split. I mean, there's frankly there's not that many people that have their accounts linked to Top Shot, so it probably is more not Top Shot native people, more like OpenSea native people.
Because that's interesting, because then that means that there's people who are buying it on OpenSea, and and we'll talk about this bridge builders thing in a minute, but like, so to buy it on OpenSea, you need Flow in your wallet, correct? You have to have a wallet that's linked up to OpenSea with Flow in it. You buy the moments with your Flow, and then those people are in this scenario holding these moments in their like external wallet. So they're not even actually porting them back over to Top Shot. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's there's another kind of bridge there of like, hey, buy stuff on OpenSea and then bring it over to Top Shot and play in Fast Break. But yeah, for so when Top Shot launched on OpenSea too, it was launched with like a storefront essentially. So ahead of time, it got set up so that there were a bunch of listings available on OpenSea. So you could have started your OpenSea journey with no Top Shot in your wallet, just gone, saw the moments that were listed from, essentially the Top Shot account, bought those, and then started exchanging them back and forth. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of volume there, and I know people will say like, is it bots or something? Like, I don't know, maybe, but people are buying those moments. I mean, I saw people grinding out in the Discord when it first went live that I guess the floor on OpenSea was higher than it is on Floaty. So like, if you really wanted to grind, you could go ahead, buy up some moments on Floaty, port them over to OpenSea, list them on OpenSea, and make yourself a quick 20 or so cents, Tandy.
I know. I talked about this last week. I said the arbitrage is right there for the taking.
It's literally there, and like it's real. It's 20 cents, but it's hey, you got to be able to make a buck in this day and age, Tandy.
I know.
So 20 cents is.
I mean, somebody like Greatest Pirate Hunter, I'm surprised he hasn't already built a bot to just do that automatically. Right. All right, very good. Well, yeah, I think it's cool, and obviously the challenge, if you want to call it that, is just getting people to sort of natively bounce back and forth from Top Shot to OpenSea, from OpenSea to Top Shot. So that will definitely be an interesting thing to see how that works out. And in terms of like this partnership with OpenSea, their side of the bargain is that they feature Top Shot, as far as I can tell. Is there anything else that they're doing to try and support this partnership?
There's the Spaces. Was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Spaces with Roham and Jacobs. That was definitely part of it. There's definitely some technical support going on behind the scenes. That goes beyond my technical level of understanding once you get into all the smart contracts and stuff. There's for sure a ton of techiness that has to go into the bridging and the flow wallets and the EVM. So
nerd alert.
Is, I'm down to get a little nerdy, but I think that goes a bit beyond my nerdiness.
Exactly.
So,
I just start whenever I see all that EVM flow, it's like nerds. No, I just like I need to like spend some time actually looking into that. Yeah. Very good. So yeah, so we mentioned this bridge builders thing, and we literally, I think I just saw on Twitter, it said, I think the Top Shot account just published
they posted it out. They posted it out.
So let's see it. Let's look through that together. Let's nerd out.
Let's do it.
So here we go. The bridge has been built with a little Golden Gate bridge, it looks like, emoji. Now go with the flow and ride the wave to OpenSea. Connect your collection to OpenSea. That's step 1. Step 2, buy and list a moment on OpenSea for the chance to win prizes, including a legendary rookie pack. So here's a checklist again. Link your wallets, list a moment, and buy a moment. All collectors who do this will get a 1 moment common pack, which you can then sell on OpenSea. 100 collectors will get a Rookie Revelations Chance Hit pack, One collector will get a grand prize rookie revelation legendary pack. And then on the next tweet, it gives you the steps again. Create your Flow wallet, link your Dapper wallet to your Flow wallet, move your moment to a Flow wallet, connect your Flow wallet to OpenSea, list and buy on OpenSea Marketplace. And then it's also got a link. So let's see what that looks like.
Yeah. So this second link has like the support article that is the in the weeds step by step. I mean, look, it's definitely not an easy process. The whole thing is quite complex, especially if you're starting from zero. You can be starting at different points here. Some of you out there may already have a Flow wallet and have that Flow wallet linked up with Dapper wallet. Anyone that's an active buyer on Floaty, you probably already have that part set up. Maybe you're even familiar with how to then go into the Dapper wallet, bridge it over to Flow, and then you go to the OpenSea site. You can, and you need to also use OpenSea too. This is another thing that I didn't know until the last 2 weeks, that there was OpenSea and now there's like OpenSea 2. So you have to be on OpenSea 2. Then you can connect to OpenSea with your Flow wallet, similar to how you would do it with your MetaMask back in the day. And then if you do that, then you can go ahead and list your moment on there. So yeah, we'll see. I'm curious to see how many people end up doing this. Like I said, it's not the easiest process. That article does, I believe, explain it quite well. Doesn't mean it makes it easy or painless, but it gives you all the steps. It's going to take a little time. It's not
But
like
is this not very similar to this, like you said, the setup on to use a website like Floaty? It's the exact same.
Pretty much the same. So if you're already set up for that, then you just have to go ahead and do the linking to OpenSea, and you need to have a moment in there in your wallet if you want to list it. And yeah, so people that like Floaty, for Floaty native people, which I feel like a decent amount of your audience is probably
we used
Floaty
to
people.
Floaty used to sponsor. We used to give them a shout out every week.
So yeah, if you're set up for Floaty, you're already well on your way. And then you can, like you said, you need to have Flow to make the purchase on OpenSea.
I don't know. Dap Insider says you don't.
What? Tell me more, Dap Insider. What else?
It says you don't need Flow, apparently.
To buy, you do. Maybe not to bridge, you don't, because I think you actually get like a super small amount of Flow when you do your account linking, so that it makes it seem like you don't need any Flow to bridge, but you just happen to already have it there. Little inside baseball behind the scenes. But I think that because the liquidity is nice on OpenSea, my hope is that a lot of people's experiences, you bridge one moment over, you go to list it on OpenSea, you're able to sell that relatively quickly for whatever the floor amount of Flow is, and then you're able to use that floor amount of Flow to go ahead and make your purchase. And the whole concept is, number one, to get people to have some kind of use case, purpose, incentive. When you check out, you have no Flow. You get, oh, okay, that's nice. What is Barachain?
Who knows, TJ? I can't keep up.
Wow.
Can you buy?
So not only do you not need Flow, but you can buy with Barachain. Okay, then. Good to know. Good to know. Let's include that in the comms. Flow or Barachain, and you'll be good to go.
Or Fartcoin. Come on.
But yeah, man. So I was kind of involved in putting this thing together, and it's one of my first little initiatives that I'm working on with Dapper. So if you're out there, personally would appreciate it if you try to participate, make my numbers look good. But I do think that it's a cool thing to go through. And the theory is also, like, once you're set up with your account linking, once you've done one transaction, that then you get comfortable with it and you're more likely to use it in the future. And if not, at least you've experienced it. And not every single aspect of the Top Shot product, of the blockchains, needs to be for everyone. But I do think having an understanding of how it works and at least going through it one time can't hurt and is beneficial. And if you're watching this show, you're probably a big supporter of the Top Shot product or have been around for a while. So might as well go ahead and check it out and get yourself all set up.
Eagle Putt asks, when do we need to do this by?
You have a week. So next Thursday at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific is when it will expire, and then we'll gather all the data and stuff from there and pick the winner probably by the following Monday.
Gotcha. Yeah, my take on it is that like it can't hurt. Like expanding into these other marketplaces can't hurt.
Yes.
If you're someone who just loves the Dapper ecosystem, that's fine. But I also believe that as this product and as this ecosystem continues to grow, you're going to see more and more use cases for doing stuff outside of the Dapper ecosystem. And then you're going to want to just easily link up your Flow wallet to play around in these other areas. I mean, we've seen, we've seen things hinted by like Steve and Library and stuff like that. And the things that those guys create is not going to be right inside a Top Shot. It's going to be outside. So if you want to keep on playing in the playground, in the sandbox, you should have some idea of how to do this stuff. So for that reason, I think it's a good idea to at least get your hands a little bit dirty here.
Agreed. Well said.
Cool. Otherwise, we do have a little bit of other Top Shot news as well. We do have the pack drop coming up. We have the legendary pack drop coming up. That would be the Rookie Revelations pack drop. And so we actually saw that just now as well on their Twitter account. 30 of the most exciting players from this year's rookie class. And that is on Tuesday at 2 p.m. We also have a few extra freshman gems. And everybody's favorite, Bronny James, has indeed made the freshman gems roster. So if you're a Lakers fan and you want to collect your Bronny James, there he is. Didn't get a legendary Bronny James, didn't put in enough minutes, but we do have some legendary rookies there that you can try to hit in your packs.
Yeah, the legendary Bronny James probably would have been pushing it a little, huh?
But anyway, so that's exciting. That's always an important drop of every series. Jared McCain, what could have been?
What could have been?
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like we pretty much covered what we wanted to cover. What else, TJ? What else are you thinking around what Top Shot has done this series and what you hope to see Top Shot do in the near future, let's say? Do you have any thoughts there? I mean, you're someone who's been very much in the weeds of Top Shot since the very beginning of Series 2, and you're still here. You're still thinking about Top Shot. I remember you were doing like interesting threads at one point highlighting people who are talking about Top Shot. So I feel like Top Shot's swimming around in your head as much as it is in mine. So I'm curious, like, what kind of things you're thinking about lately, or maybe some things that you hope to see.
I've come at it from quite a few different angles over the years, so exploring a new angle now. I think I feel pretty decent about where things are at right now. I feel like in general the community is in a pretty good spot sentiment wise, as good as this community chooses to be sentiment wise. But I do think that the people that are hanging around are around because they want to be here and because they do love the product. I think things like these new buyback packs are super interesting and have been super engaging for the community. I think people really enjoy opening those. I know that there's, the negative side, or what some people would say is how frequent they are. But hey, that's the part of Top Shot that I'm not involved in right now, and honestly don't frankly have an opinion on. My response to that is always like, well, people always buy the pack, so I don't know, man. If people are buying it, somebody out there wants it. Maybe it's not you, but if thousands of packs are selling, somebody out there wants it. So if people want to rip packs and have this buyback opportunity, who are we to stop them? Is one thing I would say there. And then product wise, I'm excited to get more involved there. I think that there's been some long overdue simple tweaks to the just website experience itself from that product standpoint. And beyond that, I have some ideas that hopefully I can help bring to the table and try to get across the line, because I do feel like the baseline product is good, the baseline community is good, and there's some things happening for trying to get new users and such. And you may see those new user numbers popping up from Live Token, and people are always like, where are these people or whatever? And I agree with that, because I think that one thing that's missing in the product is how are we not just getting new users in terms of like, oh, someone put in their email and claimed a free pack? Like, that's great and all. But from there, how do we actually onboard them onto the product? It's become a pretty complex platform at this point. So, how do we make the onboarding experience more seamless, really handhold people through getting started in Top Shot, getting deeper into the ecosystem, and what's the right way to go about that? So, I think that's something that maybe not the existing users are going to see firsthand, but that is something that we are also looking at, is how do we not just bring on new users in name, but actually turn them into active, engaged users, and then bring them into this broader community that we all sit in.
Well said. And I feel like it reminds me of when you sign up to like learn a piece of software, let's say, and they kind of give you a little drip every couple days. You get a little drip. Now try this. Now learn about this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Top Shot needs something like that, because it has kind of become a bit of a complex piece of software if you really think about it, with like so many different features, so many different things you can do, so many different angles you can take, like different journeys. If you're like a physical card collector, if you're a fantasy sports player, if you are just kind of a base moment, want to collect your favorite team, there's a lot of different journeys you could take. And I think if Top Shot can kind of crystallize those journeys and sort of let people choose their own journey and then get their drip campaign, I think they'll be well on their way.
Totally agree. And it's hard to try to be everything to everyone right off the bat. So I think, as you just outlined, identifying target journeys or populations and really trying to focus in on them one at a time and make them good for that particular type of potential collector. I think that's a good way to go about it, because there is a lot going on. Not everyone joins Top Shot for the same reasons. So it's, how do we identify the top 2-3 reasons or populations of people that may be coming here, deliver them an experience and a journey that makes sense for what they were expecting from the platform. And then over time, they stumble deeper and deeper and deeper. And who knows, maybe one day they end up bridging their moments to OpenSea.
Exactly. Bringing it back home. Gotta bridge your moments to OpenSea. Yeah, so bridging your moments to OpenSea. I think I'll definitely figure that out, because I have a Flow reference wallet and I have a account on Floaty, so that shouldn't be too difficult to do. So I'll definitely go and check that out.
Cool, man.
Cool. There was a question. Maybe you have some insight here.
Sure.
Can we get some thoughts on the Celtics' crazy pace this season from three? I think last night their first 24 points were from hoisting beyond
Oh,
the arc.
wow.
That's something that we're seeing across the whole NBA. And since the Celtics are the NBA champions, it seems like the other teams believe that to beat the Celtics, you have to almost shoot as many or more threes than they do. So what are your thoughts on this? And maybe you have thoughts just on the way the game is changing.
It's been a constant evolution, I feel like, over the last, I don't know, decade, maybe not quite a decade, but even dating back to the superstar Golden State team, I feel like they were the first ones to kind of figure it out. But analytics inevitably gets involved in all sports, and I feel like that has definitely shifted the game of basketball, where it's just like, hey, shooting 3-pointers is the most valuable thing that you can do. And just the fact that, I mean, the baseline of player, the skill level is higher and higher. So people are just able to make threes at a much higher percentage than they were 10 years ago, just because people naturally get better and the rules haven't changed. Right. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's something that needs to be intervened with at some point. I don't know if it's the kind of thing where eventually the pendulum can swing back, but you definitely see posts from people every now and then on Twitter where it's like, oh, the NBA is unwatchable. And then it's just a, I don't know, 40-second video clip of like back and forth, 3, 3, 3. And when they don't make it, then it does look like real. When they're making it, it's cool. When they do miss, it's like, oh, wow, what am I even watching here?
I know. But I feel like you can really cherry pick. You can really cherry pick like anything else to try to make your point.
Yeah.
But I would love if like some team with a bunch of big men just changed the culture back, like put it back in the other direction, just dominated the paint and won a bunch of games that way somehow. But it does seem like that, especially when some of the more popular players as well, like you got Wemby 7-footer hitting threes. It's hard to put the genie back in the bottle once that's happening. Um, but I also think that we'll see how this works when the playoffs begins, and I might be talking out of my ass a little bit, but I imagine that since the defense is not as strong in the regular season, that people will defend the three-point arc perhaps a little tighter in the playoffs, and we might see the style of play change a little bit more. I could be completely wrong there. Um, but we'll see. I agree though that when the teams are not hitting their threes, it's ugly as hell. It's not engaging at all. It's why when I see a Zion dunk or a John Morant dunk, I'm like, we need to celebrate this as much as possible because this is like the exception at this point. This is like the
Very true.
special, like everyone should freak out over Zion and John Morant dunks, and hopefully more players will copy what they're doing. The other news that we got in the NBA today, Adam Silver admitted that the All-Star game experiment was a flop. I thought that was interesting. And I don't know why I'm sort of so intrigued by the All-Star game every year. I wonder if it's because I'm just like, I grew up, I was born in the 80s. And so my earliest memories of All-Star games were competitive, fun All-Star games. And they've become these crappy exhibitions that you would expect. It almost looks like when the NBA goes overseas and they just like put on a show with the Harlem Globetrotters. That's what the All-Star game has become. And I do wonder like what is going to make it actually competitive. And if it's not putting these like sophomores that win their way onto the court, then what the hell is it going to be? I don't know what it's going to be.
It's a really tough one, and I feel like especially this year. I'm a hockey guy. I don't know if you ever watch hockey, but they did, instead of the All-Star game, they did this Four Nations tournament this year, and it was really, really incredible. Guys were playing 110%, super fast paced, super physical. And so the stark contrast between like that and the NBA was like
I
could
know.
not have been on more opposite ends of
Wasn't
the
it
spectrum.
the guy, is his name Sudan, who went on ESPN and talked about it, or
Subban, PK
Subban,
Subban.
that guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I thought he
Yeah.
tore the NBA a brand new asshole on. Like that was such a good clip, honestly.
Yeah.
Like he just put it so eloquently, and it actually it kind of made me want to go watch hockey right after that clip. After I watched that clip, because he just put it so well, and I honestly, like, if they keep trotting out this low grade all-star game, like I don't even know why they keep doing it. They might as well just cancel the game. It's so eye-wateringly bad. It's almost like offensive to actual basketball fans that they think that this is okay to trot this out. Like no one wants to see this. I don't know who wants to see this. Maybe the people who watch TikTok and Kai Cenat, and they want to see like what's his name? What's that short comedian? Like they want to see him yelling at people during the game. Like who
Kevin
wants
Hart.
that? Kevin Hart. Who wants that? Like I
I
don't.
love it. That short comedian. That's a great.
But really, like, why is the NBA kind of deteriorated into this unwatchable all-star game? I feel like you have such incredible talent that there has to be a better way.
Yeah. I don't know what the solution is. You have to somehow get the players to care, essentially, because no one seems like it's basically cool to not care about it at this point and treat it as a joke. And you can't play on the home countries thing like hockey can, because that would obviously not even be able to fill teams, let alone have competitive matchups between countries. But yeah, some kind of way to motivate the players to actually go out there and try. But
And it can't be money either.
there's a
That
lot.
pisses that
Yeah, yeah.
pisses
It
me
can't be
off.
money. Can't be money. And you get why they're not motivated to go out there. They don't want to get injured. They don't want to
Yeah,
beat up their bodies, anything like that. Got to save for the playoffs, all of that
right.
stuff. But I agree that doing nothing would probably be better optically than the game that they have, but it would not be better for the the money, 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 and that's
Yeah.
what it's all about. At the
Or
end of the
play
day.
knockout. I mean, Tandy NFT's here. Play 21. I agree. Play
There we go.
knockout. Play one-on-one. Horse. Exactly. Play horse. Play
There we go.
one-on-one. Play 21. I would much rather see that than anything else. Anyways, we got Weisberg in the chat, who is
I
very
saw
testy.
he's going off. What's up,
Weisberg
Mike?
basically just shows up like in the last quarter of the show, like it's a fourth quarter substitution. He comes here in the last quarter and just plays hard-nosed defense. He's kind of like the bruiser. You put him out in the court, just starts hard fouling everyone on the court. He's saying that PK Subban admitted that he hadn't watched any hoops. It was an awful clip. How can you comment on the league if you're not watching? And the issue with the game was the presentation. It's moving to NBC. Oh, Mike, never change. I don't know. I think that Subban's comments were still fair. You don't have to watch every game of the NBA to say that the All-Star game sucked. I'm sorry. I can't agree with you on that one, Mike. And even if Kevin Hart was not making jokes, I still don't think that's the biggest issue. That just made it even worse. It was already bad, and that just made it worse. So I'm more on Tandy NFT's side here. I make it a fun little skillful challenge instead of actually pretending to play a competitive game of one team versus another team. Anyway, so Mike wants to talk about something else. He wants to talk about the fact that Silver wants to create a European Super League. So I didn't read this article, but I did see that he wants to partner with FIBA. But I don't understand how that would work exactly. Would that be using current NBA players and like letting them play in the European League or something? I don't really understand that. Do you?
I am not familiar with this one. No.
All right, so let me pull it up real quick. We can try to take a quick look at it because I have not read this yet.
Give our live reactions.
This is what it says. It says, hold on, where did it go? It says the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and FIBA Secretary General Andreas Zagklis have announced their intent to explore the establishment of a new professional basketball league in Europe. This proposed league would feature 16 teams, including 12 permanent franchises and 4 teams that would rotate, aiming to broaden basketball's international footprint. Discussions are underway regarding the development of new arenas to bolster the sport's infrastructure, which could draw in investors and strategic partners. This initiative is a segment of a larger collaborative effort between the NBA and FIBA to foster basketball's growth worldwide. So the thing that I don't understand on this still is, what about all the existing European teams? Would they play in those? Would they play in this league, or this would be brand new teams with brand new players? Because there are very popular European teams already. So there's some details there that I'm not 100% sure of. I mean, it would be pretty cool, though, if certain players from the NBA could, if it's not during the NBA season, could sort of be loaned to certain teams in Europe or something like that. I don't know. But Weisberg is saying it's a whole new league, zero to do with the NBA. Some of those teams that are existing would be put in. So if that's the case, it seems like it's just a more supported and larger promotion type of deal for the existing European league with some additional teams and additional coverage. So I think that's a good thing. I mean, I know that we talked to Lee Ellis on this show, who's a big time European basketball fan. And, there's a whole area there that I think a lot of NBA fans don't really pay attention to. So I wonder if something like this were to happen, we would see a whole lot more interest there for additional international basketball. So I think that's all good stuff. I don't think that's bad. Yeah.
Can't hurt. Grow the game. One of the interesting things about basketball is I feel like compared to all other sports, there's so few players in the NBA, right? Rosters are so small compared to all the other leagues. You have 15 players on a team, maybe a little more so another league, if they can get it done. And yeah, like you said, it sounds like maybe it's some kind of help with the financial investment or whatever it may be to marketing to stand them up. Can't be a bad thing.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the Chinese basketball league. That's true. So we got a new name here, actually. Ma Morant. Maybe he's one of your tribe, TJ.
I don't recognize Mama Rant.
Mama Rant, it's a new name. Like and subscribe, Mama Rant. Everyone else who's watching also, it doesn't hurt to click that like button. It's free, does not cost you anything, I promise. Mama Rant says, I disagree about money. The NBA should take the L for the All-Star Weekend competition. $16 million pot, $1 million each to winners of the All-Star Game, slam dunk, 3-point, and skills challenge. Let the ladies shoot also. Now that's something I can get behind. Let the ladies shoot. Another thing I like also is what someone else wrote up here, which was Perfect Serial. He said, include the all snub team. That is something I agree with. I don't know how well that would work in terms of like people who got snubbed and then still go out and play. I don't know how well.
Yeah, are you not snubbed anymore? Then what about the people just below the all snub team? Then they're the real snubbed ones.
I know, right? The snubbed.
We're just moving the line. Who? Wait a minute. Now I'm the snubbed one.
I know, it's kind of like the play-in in the playoffs. It's
yeah,
like you didn't
right.
You didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, true. That would be right in line with where sports are trending. Yeah. Now, we have the all stars and then the all snub teams, and then the snubs below them.
Yeah. But yes, I do love the idea on the surface, which is the people who get snubbed still make it to the All-Star game and play. I mean, I do love that idea because that's one of the hottest topics around the All-Star game. It's like, I can't believe Sabonis didn't make the team, et cetera, et cetera. And those players you would think would try hard, but I guarantee you when that snub team hits the court, they're going to start jogging and throwing alley-oops like every other effing team. And you're going to say, wow, this All-Star game is unsavable. I just know that's what's going to happen. I can predict it right now. But yeah, anything. Let the ladies put the WNBA players against the NBA players. Maybe that'll make them try hard. I don't know anymore. Although I don't know if you saw that clip of the I think it was Sabrina Ionescu was doing she was doing some kind of event in like the Philippines, and like some like 5'5" Filipino dude was like backing her down in the paint, and like it just like she just get like dominated, and like the comments are just completely out of control. So I think that probably wouldn't work. But at least for the skills, like the 3-point competition, definitely. I would definitely support that. And I was kind of disappointed that didn't happen this last year, because I felt like that was one of the coolest things of the 2 years ago with her versus Curry. That was so cool. Anyway. What else? Badawine said he met a WNBA player in Vegas and she was 6'6" like me, and my mind was blown. Did you fall in love, Badawine? That's the real follow-up question. Tall woman, rock, he says. A lot of men do like tall women. Did you see that WNBA LA Sparks? Is that the name of the team? They did like an invite where they said that men could come join the practices with the women. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
I mean, what a terrible idea.
Yeah, that's a
and like I forget who the thirst trap is on the Sparks. Very tall blonde girl. I think she's like their second year in the league or something. And she's just like, all the comments are just as pervy as you would expect. And and she's like, there's no chance. I'm not backing down anyone. Like I'm going to get the ball and pass the ball. Like, I don't know. Just seems like another not a very well thought out idea. But Peachy says that Stephen A versus Bronny horse game should fix it.
There we go. Now we're talking. First good idea that we've had on the All-Star game. Stephen A versus Bronny horse game. Lock it in. We fixed it. All-Star game's fun again.
What about, I just had an idea. What if it was like a Stephen A, because I was going to say a Stephen A versus LeBron, like celebrity boxing match, but that wouldn't be fair, would it? So would it be more fair if it was a Stephen A versus Bronny boxing match? Or do you think
there you go?
Or would it be equally as unfair?
It would probably still be very unfair. But I'd watch. I'd tune in.
I would so tune in to a Bronny versus Stephen A celebrity boxing match. And I don't know what you thought of it. Were you kind of surprised by the fact that LeBron James went on that show and was just kind of like throwing around expletives and just kind of given the hard truths from his side? Like, because we've never seen that. I mean, I've never seen that. We've never seen that period from any player. And now you see it from the biggest name player in the entire league, calling out the people, the talking heads that are talking about him all the time. It's kind of incredible. And it was sort of like, some people didn't like it. They're like, LeBron's going to regret all these things that he said. The pushback's going to be huge against LeBron. I don't know. I'm on the other side of this conversation. I disagree. I think that like the transparent age that we live in of like social media and everyone throwing out their takes immediately, I actually like it. And I think it adds like an extra layer to it. And I mean, I don't like how Stephen A is parlaying this the way he is, but of course he's going to. But I actually did like the way LeBron called him out. I don't know if that's the future of sports broadcasting, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
LeBron's probably one of the few that could get away with something like that. I agree. Very out of character, very surprised. But I think it was LeBron the dad, not necessarily LeBron the player that showed up there, and he probably feels like he has the right to do so. But it also is funny. It's like, should your kid even like you basically force your kid into the league, and then you're gonna also say that no one can say anything bad about him? I don't know. I see all sides of it, but hey, it creates the drama. It's amazing how Bronny has found a way to just stay in the headlines all season long. No, the amount of headlines per minutes played got to be by far an NBA record.
Oh, absolutely. I can't think of anyone else. Maybe, I mean, it has to be. I mean, Jeremy Lin, a close second perhaps, but he still played real minutes. Top Shot Tesla though, giving a sticker. Top Shot Tesla, let's give him the ice cream.
Thank you for being an OnlyTan. Ice cream is so good.
Space. Thank you, Top Shot Tesla. Let's also give you an air horn. So let's see what else we got here. So Mom Morant saying that Pat McAfee, that's his name. He's the new, I guess, Howard Stern. He makes folks comfortable. Perfect Cereal says some of the rant was lame by LeBron. And Bobby Digital, Ben Simmons, headlines per minutes played. Yeah, that might be true. Ben Simmons is definitely a close second for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that one hits close to home.
Yeah, I know.
That was real. I mean, well, it was even Fultz was before Ben Simmons. I don't even remember the order of operations, but there's been so many red flags in the Philly organization over this last decade.
Isn't it time to get rid of Daryl Morey?
Probably. It's got to be coming up, right?
Yeah, I feel like he's gotten a pass for a long time because he came up with a cool catchphrase, and I think that the results just aren't there. Let's see. Perfect Cereal says we need a drop. Need a drop today. I don't know. What are you talking about, Perfect Cereal? You talking about a Tandy Time drop? What drop do you want? Should we give Matic his stoner? Let's give him his drop. That's what we do to make people uncomfortable. So Top Shot Tesla wants you to say something. He says, just have TJ pronounce, then I won't say it. So now you have to say it. What's that player's name?
I don't even remember what the right. I think I said Pat Connaughton. Is that not his name?
That's definitely not right.
What is it? Connaughton?
I believe it's Connaughton. Yeah.
Connaughton. Yeah, I said Pat Connaughton.
I like that version more.
Nice one. That one was deep in the. Good for you for bringing that one up.
Yeah, he's got a lot of deep cuts here, Tesla. I think he consumed a lot of OTM content back in the day.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. We're almost at time, everybody. What you want to ask TJ anything else before we call it? Let's see. Anything else we want to talk about? Anything trending on Twitter? Let's see. It's all Stephen A. Smith. It's what else? Gary Payton III is injured. I don't really have anything else. I don't know if you guys saw, but I completed a 90s pro wrestling bracket. And that was really fun. And I did that on behalf of Reddy Miller. TJ, did you watch pro wrestling when you were younger?
I did not. I was
You did
never
not.
into the pro wrestling stuff. I mean, I'm familiar-ish, but was never a avid watcher myself.
Yeah, I used to love it. I was obsessed with it in the 90s. So that was fun. I did a whole bracket. If you guys want to check that out, it's on my Twitter. And the final was between the Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. You'll have to go check it out to see who won. Let's see what else. Botherline wants to go camping after the Wolfpack drop. Process needs to end, says Standy NFTs. Botherline says, I met TJ shortly in Vegas. I'm sure he doesn't remember. At Mike Zakarian's live show, of course, he says. But there you go. Bobby wants to know who won Degeneration X. Well, I guess we have 2 minutes. I mean, we'll go 2 minutes over and I'll show you it. Hold on. Let's see if I can show it to you. I'll show it to you all. You can watch it together. It's only 2 minutes. There we go. Hold on. We'll show you this and then we'll end the show. Here we go. Let's watch it together, everybody.
Degenerate into something fool. We just got tired of doing what you told us to do. That's a brace, boy. Yeah, that's a brace, little man. Break it down. Degeneration us. Degeneration. You think you could tell me what to do? Know who you're talking to? Well, you better get used to the way the ball bounces. I think it measures in ounces, but that's a brace, boy. Yeah, that's a brace, little man. Break it down. Degeneration us. Degeneration. Think you're a big man? Treat you like you're a little man. Yeah. Break it down. Yo, tell me what it's like to be half a man. It must break your heart to see what I am, but that's a brace, boy. Yeah, that's a brace, little man. Break it down. Degeneration us! Degeneration! Think you could tell me what to do? Know who you're talking to?
That was awesome.
Good. That was really good.
So go
the
show
build-up
some.
is awesome, from like the pictures to the GIFs to the videos. That was good.
I know that was really well done. Go, oh Jesus Christ, playing again. Go throw Reddy Miller a follow. That's Reddy Miller 31 on Twitter. Go throw him a follow. He's always doing some fun GIF artistry, and so I was honored that he would ask me to do a bracket for him. Anyway, chalk but accurate, says Mom Morant. Yep, I agree. Very chalk, very great. Top Shot says it's rude of you making TJ through that. CJ sit through that.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was well done, Tesla.
It was good. About. It was captivating. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. We're very well done by Reddy Miller. Anyway, so that's the show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, TJ, for hanging out. Thank you, Weisberg, for just coming in here hot. And good times. We'll see you guys next week. TJ, the people know how to find you. TJ Laessig on Twitter. Own the Moment. NBA Top Shot. I'm sure TJ will have way more to fill you in as the days and weeks continue. Would you agree, TJ?
Absolutely. We actually keep your eye out, because with this pack drop on Tuesday, I think we're going to get a little throwback Q show live stream drop going. So keep an eye out for that on Twitter. We'll be posting that.
All right. Well, I look forward to that. Bring back the Q show. Make Top Shot Qs great again. That's what we like to say.
Amen.
All right. Well, for TJ and for myself, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody.
Static Selector.